stream. I will send out a tweet.
Cool.
Excellent.
Oh, that's right. He's making a hair set, isn't he?
Yes, Miroslav focuses on a lot of character modeling and things like that.
Yeah, I
Oh.
believe in hair.
Yeah, some female hair texture or painting, I think.
Yeah, painting.
Ooh,
Hey, Sean.
awesome.
Hey there. Good
Yeah,
to
he
see you.
snuck in. Awesome. So we're just gonna wait a minute or two while people trickle in, and I will refresh the stream so I can see if we can get a view counter. But welcome for those of you who are here right on the dot. It's gonna be interesting today. It's gonna be very cool. So yes, today we will have, hopefully John will pop in later. He's finishing up fixing a system or something, or implementing something for the town square, and then he'll pop in when he's done with that. And Motown just finished up some of his work. He's here to help answer questions too. Very much appreciate that. Today we have Miroslav, also known as Dzansky. He is one of our character modelers. He does a lot of stuff for the character models in the game. Today you'll be seeing him, I suppose, he explained it to me earlier, paint over the hair. There's like certain layers you have to do. If you wanted to talk a bit about that, Miroslav, because you explained it far more elegantly than I ever could. It's,
Yeah, cool. So this is the base of the hair, and I'm painting a few layers on it first to give it some depth and to give it some coverage, actually. And then
okay.
once this is over, I add the actual hair planes on top of it with the different texture on them to break up the silhouette and to give it a little bit more extra depth and some, well, yeah, the actual hair. So this is just like the base of it. It's a lot of work, so I'm not sure how much further I will get with this for 1 hour, but this is how hair is done. It's it just swole. and
Awesome.
I have few of the I molded few of the older models that I have done for the hair. Should I show them now or wait a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, if you'd like to, I think that'd be great.
Cool. See, where is it? All right, so this is some of this is the last hair that they created. I don't think the community has seen this one yet.
Ooh, lots of floating heads is kind of scary.
Yeah, don't worry about the other heads. So
Oh, that looks nice.
yeah, so you can see how under those planes there is the actual
Wow.
hair cap. You can't really see it
Yeah.
because it looks like hair, but you're not supposed to be seeing it. But this is how it's done. This one, this hair actually has the same hair cap that I'm painting right here. Well, not the same, but the same.
Okay.
The same. It's made the same way.
Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of the
Jeez.
hairs, and this is the mohawk.
That's pretty cool, dude. Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's the recent mohawk. Awesome. Now, how long did the mohawk take you?
I think around 3 or 4 days.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks, it just shines really well in the light, and it does look pretty authentic. Like,
Yeah, looks good.
I'm impressed, dude.
Yeah, I like this one too. And then this is one of the older ones. So it's a hairstyle for the female models. For example, when they're wearing hat, we had a few different variations for those, like a shorter, longer, medium length. That's about it, I think. Yeah, this is the latest one. This one here.
Yeah, wow. Like, it just looks really realistic. Like, I'm impressed with the amount of detail that you put into this. Wow.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's a lot of work though.
We call that one the JFK hair.
Yeah.
No, I just made that up. It looks like John F. Kennedy's hairstyle.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this last one came out. I like those three too. So that's it, and now I'm back to painting this one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent work, dude. Really appreciate having someone as skilled as you as part of the team. And I mean, from what we've seen, those hairstyles are going to be pretty cool to see on your characters in the
Thank
game.
you.
Even in Module 1, I assume we'll be having some of those, right, Motown?
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
We better.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we got to
guys.
show it off. Excellent. All right, so as per usual, we'll definitely try and answer any questions you guys may have. Well, we see the artist's work is magic. If there's any particular art questions you have, that'd be great because we have the art director here and we have one of our 3D modelers. John might be able to show up a bit later to help answer more of the programmy type questions, but we'll take a mix from both the Twitch chat and the Discord for sure. And yeah, I just hope that you all have a nice time enjoying the stream. It's definitely been hard to get a hold of this man. He's very elusive, and I'm very happy to finally Miroslav back on stream.
Some of
Yeah,
these hairstyles, by the way, will actually have physics applied to them too. So when you see them in the engine, they will kind of flop around, especially the ones with ponytails.
What about the long hair?
Um, I'd like to do that with this one, but is this the mesh for the long?
No, this is
That
just
you're working on
the
now?
base mesh for it. It's just the hair cap, and I'll be adding the planes on top of that.
Okay, okay, yeah, probably. If we can do that with this one, but because if it comes out with like the shape that it does, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Okay, this is how it looks like.
Okay.
So I don't know, but on top of this, there'll be the planes will be added on top of this.
Yeah, yeah, I see. But like I wonder if I mean we can all discuss the semantics later, but I wonder if maybe like we need to like put a split down the center of the mesh so that like if we were to apply physics could like kind of flow in strands rather than like flop around like a
Hmm.
because the shape of this
Yeah. Okay.
base
Yeah,
mesh right here.
we can change that.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Cool. That shouldn't be a big deal.
awesome. Yeah, man, this stuff is way more complicated than I originally anticipated. It's beyond me, but it's really cool seeing this process as you guys are creating this cool stuff for the game. Wow. Definitely a meticulous, intricate process doing this kind of hairstyle thing. But definitely glad to have you on the job, Miroslav. You seem like you're well
Thanks,
fit
guys.
for the role now, dude. You've improved a lot too since you first started. Like, it's just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I have improved, but some of the first hairs I made were very difficult to make, and now that
I
I've made
gotcha.
few, they're starting to look a little better. So I'm a little happier too.
Awesome.
He's
Ooh.
being modest. He's like gone a long way since he started.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I think Sean is cutting off a little bit. Is he? Not sure.
Am I? Is my microphone cutting out?
No, I hear you now. I
Uh,
thought you were. I hear
it
you now.
might just be Discord or something chopping every now and then.
Okay, cool. I hear you now. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if the audio levels are wacky or anything goes wrong with the video, please viewers let us know and we'll definitely try and fix it. Um, excellent seeing you all here. 75 viewers right now. Wow. And yeah, I guess we can get into some questions. Yeah, the first one, I guess I'd like to look at Motown. This one seems actually, there's one in the Twitch chat I'm just going to jump on. If I get the founder, will the price raise in the future when the game comes out? So should I go ahead and buy it? With the pledge reward packages as they stand right now, John has said in the past that you are getting a pretty good deal because prices will increase a certain amount once the new website is up and ready. As to what the finalized prices will be when the new site is up, we are not yet too sure. But if you are worrying about getting locked out of module access, out of beta access after the new site, don't worry, we'll still be offering that to players. So you don't have to go ahead and rush to buy something like that. The prices may change, but you'll still be able to enter the modules once they have released. So there's that. In terms of the release date for the new site, um, I'm not entirely too sure. It is getting close to being finished. Liam showed me some pretty cool stuff the other day, but I'll have to get back to you on that. Maybe when John pops in, I'll give him a quick checkup on that. But yeah, cool. The next question is, this one's from the Discord Motown. It should be easy enough. Someone was wondering if it's possible to faint if you don't eat or drink enough in the game. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but I'd love to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, you won't faint. You'll lose stamina and other things.
Yeah. Basically, how it is so far is that do not eat or drink. You will have these minor grievances. You might run slower, things like that. But we definitely don't want to penalize players too heavily for not taking care of those factors, because it would just be more of a chore, if anything. We just want people to kind of make sure that they are treating their character with some form of nourishment every now and then. But we are not going to like die if you don't eat or anything like that. We don't want severe consequences for that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Neon Man in the chat, thank you. Anyway, I can join the team or get an inside on news updates. Basically, I try to post as much stuff to social media as I possibly can. I even update the old Kickstarter with the new devlogs. Basically, every month, if you're signed up to receive the newsletter, you will get little thing written by John showing new content. It'll be posted on the forums too, so you don't need to be subscribed. But basically, any sort of news that I get a hold of that I'm allowed to share, I definitely will. Keep your eyes posted on the forums. If you want to get involved with the team itself, we occasionally do moderator applications. And if you have, a lot of passion for the gaming industry and you have a decent portfolio, you can definitely send an application to careers@asylumentertainment.ca. So there's quite a few options. If you ever need a refresher, things like that, feel free, anyone in the chat, to contact Beachball in the Discord. I'll use the little Discord link in the Twitch chat. And yeah, I'm always open to talk and help answer questions and things like that. So if anyone needs a meeting, I'm your guy. Oh, Lightbringer beat me. Awesome. Blue Guy 7 was being made in Twitch today. We're working on some cool hairstyles done by Miroslav.
Actually, this is the reference that I'm kind of following. A lot of stuff here, so basically kind of the middle one.
Okay. Nice. Did you find this reference for him, Motown?
Motown gave me this one here.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gave him one of these.
I'm like, what are you staring at all day?
He went and got some better shots, definitely.
Okay. Cool. Someone's asking, what software are you currently using, Miroslav?
This is ZBrush. This is my favorite software ever.
Oh, your favorite?
Yeah, ZBrush is the best. It's like super fun.
Oh, nice. Cool.
The difference between this and another software like 3D Studio Max is that in ZBrush you're actually sculpting, sort of as you would with clay in real life, but a little differently digitally. Whereas with 3D Studio Max or Maya or even Blender, if you're familiar with that, you're doing what's called polygon modeling.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Cool. Very interesting. Here's another one from the Twitch chat. We might have info on this. Someone's asking, would there be any cooking mechanics and just food preparation in general? Well, if I recall correctly, there's some sort of crafting mechanic where you can, combine food items to make better food items. I'm not too sure if you have any more insight on that, Motown, but that might be a better question for John.
Like food items.
Yeah, like creating, using recipes to make new, just cook
Yeah,
food.
there will be different ingredients and recipes, food that you can craft, but don't expect it to be like a really complex system. You know, like it's you if you have a specific like you will go out and buy those ingredients wherever you get them. Maybe you'll farm them or something. But it's not going to be like an insane crafting system that some games have with that kind of thing.
Okay. Cool. And I guess is there any sort of boost or special reasoning why like food is a thing? Like we know we talked just briefly earlier about hunger and thirst levels, but will there be any sort of foods that maybe make you run a bit faster or something, or is that just for drugs?
There will well, this it's definitely for drugs, but there will probably be some foods that give some small benefit. Not everything, but perhaps some.
Okay,
Some of the harder ones to craft.
nice. Oh, someone has a good suggestion from the Twitch chat. Someone was wondering if you guys might implement some multi-language GUIs, like having an English, Dutch, German, Danish, etc. Client, because not everyone is a native English speaker, and I do believe we will be having in the full game a translated class of languages.
Yes. Yeah. We will localize client for each region for the full game, not for the town
Yeah.
square. In the
Um,
town square, it's all English.
Yeah, unfortunately, Town Square will remain English because we're basically just focused on finishing the small pieces of the game that we'll be putting out and making sure that there aren't any crazy bugs or things like that. And I guess basically there's not necessarily a game to translate yet. There will be very soon in terms of the modules, but yeah, it's something that we just don't have time to put our resources on to translate the modules. But definitely for the full game, we will have translated like menus and things like that for folks that aren't native English speakers. A lot of fans all over the world, and even our workers like Miroslav right here. It's 11:18 p.m. where he's working. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Miroslav, for staying up so late to show
Yeah,
the
sure,
fans
guys.
some of your work.
Sure.
Because I know it's not easy.
Yeah, when you get a little older, have to go to bed earlier.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I definitely understand that. Yeah, same. Um, awesome. I have. Ooh, this one's interesting. It's a bit to do with art design within the game, in terms of interactable stuff. Motown. Someone was wondering if you can actually, break glass windows and have them shatter. Not of like houses, but maybe of a car or something to actually physically bullet or something like that.
No, there will be some sort of decal on the glass, like from a bullet penetration, but they won't shatter. No.
Okay. Any specific reason for this, or just a design decision that you
Uh,
feel?
Performance reasons, all sorts of things.
Okay. Yeah. In terms of glass, I guess in the game, is it going to be like super reflective, or what kind of like glass shader are we using? I don't know if that's the right
Well,
terminology,
that's
but
sort of the thing that we're kind of running into a challenge with already. Currently, is with our glass shader, we're really realizing that Unreal Engine does not like glass, um, and in certain areas anywhere where it's very glass heavy, particularly one building that we have in the town square is basically like all glass. Uh,
oh,
when you look through those windows, and you see the window behind it, and then the terrain or a building back there that also has glass on it somewhere, you're rendering the same pixel many times. So that can be pretty performance heavy. So we're definitely going to be more careful about that in the future. At least for the town square, it'll stay in. Um, Hopefully, people won't have any problems, but we are refactoring some of our glass shaders so that they aren't as complex for the future.
okay. So no. Uh, how much of a performance difference? Like,
It's
is it significant where it's choppy, or just lower FPS
no,
but still
it's
smooth?
It's hard to say. I think in most cases you probably wouldn't notice it unless you had a really low end GPU.
Like me.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, but it's cool to get some insight about decisions you have for the buildings and things like that. Really cool to get in on that. Nice. Let me skim through my questions. Here's another interesting one that you might have an answer to. This is for the full game. So if I join a corporation and I purchase my own vehicle, my own semi-truck, my own whatever is needed for that corporation, do I keep all the profits I make, or does the corporation leader still get a cut even though I'm paying for my own resources?
Can you repeat that again?
Let's
Sorry.
say
Like
no, I know you're very busy with work too.
yeah, I'm also working at the same
I
time.
greatly
I'm
appreciate you
sorry.
guys showing up for still helping to wondering. So if I want to have a taxi corporation in the full game, and instead of using the company's resources or the corporation's resources, I just buy my own
Yeah.
car to
It
be like a
it
taxi, and I use that car. Uh, do my profits still have to be shared with the owner?
it
I'm
depends
assuming yes,
on
but
a setting that the owner chooses. So
oh,
if the owner makes it so that his employees pay into the the corporation's bank account, then they will do that with every fare that they get. Uh, and they if they don't want to make any money for their employees to have all the money, they can set it to do that too.
oh, that's interesting. So in that case, how would the CEO actually make a profit? He would just have to do the same work that everyone else does?
No, he gets the money from the account. So if the
Okay.
CEO makes the settings right for
Yeah.
the corporation, so if he sets it so that there's profit sharing from the fares that the taxi driver uh, picks up, uh, then he will take a share of their cut. He'll take a cut from their fare.
Okay. Intriguing. Pardon me. That's pretty cool. Definitely looking forward to taking advantage of this corporation mechanic. I definitely want to either be a taxi driver or help deliver items people order within the in-game intranet. Should be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I mean, fun because I'm definitely going to be breaking speed limits and having the cops on my tail, I'm sure, but should make it way more exciting. Um, Next question. Ooh, someone is wondering when there will be a document published that contains all of the, I don't know how to pronounce this, penal code laws and punishments, kind of like legal in the official servers.
Oh wow.
Like a concrete list of, do's and don'ts.
There's way too many things to even mention that.
I gotcha. Um, just, I guess it's a plethora of things that can switch around.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many things that can be that that are illegal that might have some effect or change going over to a private server or official server.
Okay. Part two of this user's question is, how's the inflatable duck coming along Motown?
No inflatable ducks, unfortunately, in Identity. But I do remember that conversation on Discord. And I
Yeah, I
remember.
saw a giant duck posted. I'm like, what did I miss? And there's a new chat channel now, voice chat. Nice. Hmm. But
Oh, voice
interesting. Yeah,
text
yeah,
text chat. Yeah, yeah. I put that there on the Discord so that the people that were in voice chat had somewhere to paste things that
good
they for
idea.
people they're talking to.
Nice. Smart, so smart. Yeah, so and BW Swifty, would we have to go into education to have the right qualifications for jobs? Some jobs will require a quick tutorial that you'll have to do, particularly for the government type jobs. Like when you go to sign in to be an officer, you'll have to have some indication as to how to use your weapon or arrest people other things like that. Same with firefighting or being an emergency service kind of guy. There will be something that you have to do. These tutorials won't be necessarily long or hard. They're just there to help players know how to function within their roles that they're playing as. Um, so you won't need a particularly like strong education in any field because that education will be provided to you. Um, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Motown, but I think
Yeah.
it's good. Um, yeah, I'm kind of interested though. Do you have any insight about these tutorials specifically for the police officer one? Because I'm just curious if
For
it.
to become a police officer, it'd probably be a shooting test.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you'll have to go to the gun range. Well, this particularly for getting a gun license and for becoming a police officer,
Okay.
you'll have to go to a gun range and fire off some rounds to qualify. And then for the police, there will probably be an extra step of answering some moral dilemma questions on for the police.
Wow, that sounds kind of cool, dude.
Yeah, like what would you do in this situation, kind of thing.
Interesting. Even if you don't like take that into consideration for getting them on the force, it would be cool to log those responses and just maybe share them someday if it's just a free form answer thing.
Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah.
Um, and off of that, I just lost the question in the chat. Will you have to do the tutorials again if leave and go back to that job? And the answer is no.
No.
Once you're done the police officer one, you can sign out of being an officer and go on duty again whenever. Except there are some certain. Can't speak today. Sorry. There are some certain circumstances where let's say you have a gun license and you're going to use it for hunting or self-defense, but you go around killing willy-nilly. We might revoke that. You might have to redo the tutorial if you're abusing your power.
if
So
if you get arrested as a hunter and you have a hunting license and you shoot a person
yeah,
with that, it'll probably revoke your hunting license. The
awesome.
game automatically. So yeah, when you get arrested, it'll happen.
Ooh.
And for the police force thing, that's a little more hands on our end. Determine if you are just a bad cop and unworthy of the badge.
Worthy of the badge. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, through a matter of reports. Like some people report you, we'll investigate those reports, and then we'll make a determination from there.
Ooh, awesome. Um, hello. We have someone new in the Discord. It is the big
Hey,
boss. Hello. John is now with us.
guys.
Great.
Hey,
Great to
John.
see you. How's it going, man? Busy day?
Always, always. I was just finishing up some stuff. I started doing little bits of the quick code for the drunken and drug effects, and I was showing Sean some of that earlier. It's pretty cool looking. But
Ooh.
I just started implementing it a bit, the effects that we have.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and even doing, overtime after hours and on the weekends, right?
Yep, yep. Got to get it out.
Yeah, it's an Asylum. But nice to see that you can swing by real quick to help answer questions. It's always greatly appreciated by the community to hear stuff. But yeah, Miroslav's really coming along with his hair already. The painting is looking just fine. And yeah, we already got through a good half of the questions, so we will continue. I guess since both devs are here, I actually wanted to get one that has obviously been on the minds of everyone recently, and it's to do with the new dev blog. Basically, I wanted to ask you guys both your opinions on how are you feeling about the new date, and what are the final few touch-ups you guys got to do for the Module 1 Town Square?
Well, I mean, of course, we don't feel good about delaying it. It's never fun to do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we would love to have it out on time, but priority, of course, goes to the quality. I mean, we could get it out on time in a broken manner. Well, not necessarily
Yeah.
broken, but
Cut corners.
not. Yeah. We want to make sure that when we put it out there, is what we want it to be, because first impressions are everything, and most people don't try a game twice. So we have to make sure it's done right the first time. So yeah, um, it's obviously something we don't want to do, but again, it's something that we have to do. There's not really much choice in that matter.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a tough call to make, but yeah, and then I definitely see your position.
It'll
Uh,
definitely be a nicer product because of it, for sure.
that's good. That's good news. Um, so yeah, just out of curiosity, I've asked this before, but a lot of people are wondering again. Is if there's any possible way for fans to help with development in any way, like testing, if you guys need extra testing, if there's any people can volunteer for.
Well, right now, for the town square, not so much, because it's sort of it's a small sort of subset of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot that we need tested. It's very easy for us to test these things internally. So we do have a team that will be going over everything before it goes out. Now, once it's out, I'm sure we'll miss things. So there's going to be the odd bug here and there. So any kind of reporting back on that would always be a big help, of course, because the fans are always going to find things that we don't. Um, it's going to be much different when it gets a little further, and even for the SWAT game, we might do some kind of a little testing thing.
Ooh.
I'm not entirely sure. Like, don't take my word on that. Again, that's sort of like a little enclosed game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Surely for the full release, the testing is going to be a lot more intense.
Okay.
Um,
So you
in
might need users
the
then.
team size,
Yeah.
most likely, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Very, very interesting things. And yeah, we're all super excited for Town Square, just anxiously awaiting.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
it's been a long journey, and we're close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing that construction image you put in the dev blog, like I don't know if you wanted to talk a bit about that, but it's flipping beautiful.
Yeah,
Like I've seen a lot of compliments about
that's
that.
just one of the streets that's blocked off. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5 streets that are in town square that have to be blocked somehow. So that's
Yes,
one of them. Yeah, originally we were just gonna save time and have it
invisible
so
walls, just strictly
exactly.
flat.
Yeah, that's one of those little quality of life improvements we wanted to add while we had time to 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 add on to the town square. Another thing, I don't know if John wants to mention it, but he actually got a little vending machine working today,
Ah, yeah,
which is really
I
nice.
saw that.
Well, the last couple of days I've just been going in doing some of those like quick last minute environmental things, because like how we always say we want the world to feel alive in the environment. If you see something that feels like it should have function to it, then it should have function to it. That's kind of what we're going for. So yeah, the last couple of days I've just been doing some quick features like the vending machines throwing cans out at you, and God, a few other little things like throwing coins into the fountain, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
They're very easy. Like, I mean, from a programmer standpoint, those are things I can do in
A few hours maybe.
Yeah.
yeah, at most.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, all these sorts of things together, they add a lot of sort of immersion to the game. So we want to do that everywhere we can. Like, another example is like about a month ago, someone finished coding like our newspaper system, so that's all in there. And it's another thing. Like, you see a newspaper machine, when you use it, you're actually getting a newspaper out of it. And what's kind of cool about that too, guys, by the way, like Sean and I were talking about this earlier. One of the features that is kind of nice to know is that when you take a newspaper out of this, it will always be that issue that you took it out as. And when we put out another newspaper, like, these are actually readable newspapers too. Let me just
Hmm.
clarify that for
Yeah.
when you take out these newspapers, it'll always be that one that you picked up. And when we issue another newspaper, when you get one out of the machine, it's going to be the newer one. So you could kind of collect old news and everything through that. It's interesting. It's the only way that you're going to be able to see that old news again is by having that old paper that you never
Yep.
lost.
So when you guys get into the full game and you get your first newspaper, make sure you keep that if it's meaningful to you. It might not be worth anything, but you'll want to be able to look back at the newspapers you collected back 5 years previously,
Yeah.
yeah, as you're playing through the game.
So will this newspaper feature be implemented for Town Square? Or is this just the full game?
Yeah, it's all done already.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like that there will be a lot there then.
Well, there's a lot
Like
of like
that's
little tiny things. Yeah.
awesome. Any more you care to share with us? Or are
Oh
we good
God, I
for now?
mean, there's so many things. There's the popcorn machine and the popcorn you can get out of it and throw around. I
Yeah, we
mean,
just asked
the
our artist today to add like a physics effect to the popcorn machine. So
yeah, a little particle effect.
yeah, a
Oh,
particle effect.
nice.
Yeah. So you'll actually see it popping up popcorn in the theater when you enter.
Woo. Excellent. Sounds like a lot of stuff you can do, even if it's just the smaller things. They all combine to, come together to be this awesome thing. And of course, there's like apartment customization, there's karaoke, there's a bunch of other features that we've talked about in the past. But it's nice to see these little quality of life improvements happen over time as we get up to release. So very exciting. I see a few people in the chat and both from the Discord asking about the new website though, because we are planning to change some stuff around with the pledge rewards. I was wondering if there's any ETAs that, for the new site and maybe what will happen to the pledge rewards as a result with the new shop.
I believe John did mention that after the what new website does come up, there will be a period of time for you to still buy the pledges that exist currently.
Yes. Yes. And that's basically because right now we have people who definitely want to nab a pledge but don't have the means to do so because PayPal isn't offered in their country or something like that. So the new site will at least also have a credit card purchase option, so you can use that. We'll probably keep the prices the same for about a day or two. I'm not too sure, but we definitely don't want to just jack up the prices the moment the new
Yeah,
shop goes
because
up.
adding new payment methods, we want to make sure that you guys didn't have a chance to get snag one of the pledges
Yeah,
uh, due to the fact that you didn't have PayPal.
yeah, precisely. Um, so yeah, is there any date in particular we're aiming for with that, John, or just before Module 1?
it'll just be a short time before the module comes out.
Cool. Any estimation as to what the new prices will be, or you haven't had time to give that
No,
much
there's a
thought?
lot of factors that have to go into that, so it's not really something that's easy just to like give up on a whim here. There's so many different things that need to be considered.
Fair enough.
We have to make sure everything's balanced.
Yeah, precisely. Balance is the key factor here. And in terms of removing items, are there any items that, you know, in your opinion, are rather valuable right now because maybe we won't see them return?
Yeah, there's likely going to be a few, mostly in the upper tiers of the donations. Some of the vehicles and that sort of thing, you're not likely going to see the exact same ones. Um, the apartments, they'll remain. The whole cash thing, the starting cash,
Hmm.
you're not going to be seeing that anymore. So, I mean,
Oh, interesting. So this is your last chance to nab, some starting cash, I suppose.
Yeah, keep in mind, however, that the starting cash that you already get from the pledge rewards isn't significant. Like you have a little heads up over everybody else starting off, but if you don't start like if you don't use that to your advantage, people are going to catch up to you pretty quickly.
Hmm.
So don't think that like the people that do have that advantage are way ahead of everybody else because they're really not.
Yeah, it's just some nice padding for the first few days, and if you
Exactly.
use it correctly, you might be able to get something cool out of it. But players will catch up pretty quick if you're snoozing. So, yeah, and that also reminds me, there's a question about pledge rewards I wanted to ask both of you. Someone was wondering, I might have asked you this in the office, so don't quite remember, but does each pledge reward enabled on your account to carry over to each one of your characters or just each account, like server you're on, I should say, sorry. Um, so to rephrase that, if I'm apartment with my pledge reward, will all three of my characters get that apartment or will just one character get that apartment per server I'm on?
just the one character on that server. Otherwise, it would just be too easy. I
Yeah.
mean, we have to like, for example, like what if we're talking cars? Now we really don't really want one pledge to turn into 3 different cars on that one server.
Yeah. Good. I think that's a good way of balancing this, actually. Good to have that reassurance there. Awesome. Yeah, and I guess you might have briefly answered this just a few minutes ago, but someone was wondering, are there items you can purchase via microtransactions, like in the final game, that behave similarly to the luxury apartment and sports car, but aren't exactly those things?
Yeah, there's going to be other options available for sure. Several. There's going to be more options after than there are before.
Awesome.
So they just might not necessarily be the same. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's going to be some kind of differences between them. So if you have something that's older, it'll be pretty clear that you got that early on.
Excellent. Yeah, and just to reiterate, we aren't locking really good content behind paywalls or anything like that. Focusing on cosmetics, vehicles, and apartments. And like, there's not going to be some OP package you can buy with real money. We really want to keep the game balanced in that regard, and not have people who simply have more money get some sort of PvP advantage, because
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
not
And
fun.
I mean, you're never going to see us sell vehicles that are very high end either. Like the really nice vehicles in the game, you're going to have to actually earn them in the game. We're never going to sell them for real money because that sort of thing would give an advantage. So really, the pledge rewards are there to give you a head start when you start playing. That's what it's about. It's not about giving you some kind of uber power. And most of it's just cosmetic things like I don't know if we've how much we've talked about publicly, but there's, for example, vanity plates, vanity phone numbers, that kind of thing
Oh
too.
yeah, those two. Yeah, I'd definitely like to get my own custom license plate. I think that'd be pretty sick. People love custom game. It's just flair means a lot to people, and means a lot to me too. But yeah, I'd like to actually ask. Someone was wondering earlier today in the Discord if you guys have any models or updated artwork for any of the motorcycles or motorbikes, because we have seen that vehicle in the recent gameplay video, but nothing on two wheels yet. I was wondering if any of those things are currently in the pipeline, or if you're just devoting more stuff to Module One and leaving that for when you're actually doing
Yeah, I mean, we're
vehicles.
not really putting a whole lot of effort into the vehicle art right now. I mean, the ones that have already been released, those concept pieces, those are what you could look forward to.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll come later, significantly later since that's module 3.
Yes. Awesome. And yeah, off of that, in the full game, I'd like to ask you a bit about insurance plans you can get for your vehicles, because I wanted to ask. I know you answered this in the office already, but I wanted it on the stream. Do insurance like how long does the average insurance plan last for a vehicle?
Well, it's hard to say what's average. We don't really know what's going to be average until people are playing. We can see how they react. But essentially, when you're buying a microtransaction vehicle, it's going to have lifetime insurance on it. If you're paying real money for it, it's going to have lifetime
Hmm.
insurance. Vehicles that you get in the game can come with a variable insurance term. So um, if you want to save some money, you don't need to get insurance for a long period of time, but the option's there.
Cool.
The
So like,
insurance can be quite expensive, actually. So
ah, so just for example, do you think that there might be a plan to cover your car for a month, something like that?
yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah,
Okay.
and like we've said before too, insurance doesn't mean that when you crash that car, it's coming back to you like right away. Like depending on some circumstances, it could be gone for a decent amount of time. Like a
Hmm.
couple hours even. So yeah, you want to be careful with that. And damage on your car and identity is going to be a little pricey, so you have to be careful.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, that sounds it sounds very interesting. I wonder how many people are going to end up totaling their car first week. I know I'll be in that list, but
Everyone will be.
de-
I've seen Sean drive. It's
Absolutely.
guaranteed.
yeah. Um, yeah, just a lot of segues today, but off of that, any more progress or word on how the vehicles will handle? Because we definitely want them to be really realistic as we possibly can get without making them feel funky. Any word on that department?
No, you've pretty much said it there. So we're looking at a bunch of different technology partners right now, and we're kind of in an evaluation phase with one right now. So if all that
Ah,
pans out well, then that's the way we'll go. Take another route, but either way, the end result is we're aiming for very high realism in terms of handling. So damage will also be pretty realistic in a sense that you're gonna get damaged doing things in identity that you might not in other games. I mean, in a lot of the games, you can take a low riding car over big cliffs and through the desert and forest, and
yeah.
you're fine. It's not going to work out too well in identity unless you have a vehicle that's designed for that.
Would you say it might be close or somewhat similar to Arma 3 physics or completely
Oh,
different?
completely different. Yeah.
All right. Cool. A few more questions. I've just been in a good segue mode right here. Two more, and then I'll go back to the Twitch chat. One is, can you see somebody else's stress level? Like maybe there's a bar over their head, or can you only see your own stress level, or like know how much you're at, I guess?
No, we're really trying to keep UI like that down to an absolute minimum. So currently you can't see other people's stress level, but what we're likely going to do in that front is add audiovisual cues, being like heavy breathing and that sort of thing. So if they're stressed, you might be able to like see them panting, that kind of deal.
Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
I don't really want bars all over their head or anything like that. It's just immersion breaking.
might I add a suggestion? Um, It would be cool if your phone app, I mean, you couldn't do this in real time if you're in a gunfight, but be able to check your BPM for your heart. Maybe a higher heart rate means higher
That's
stress.
kind of cool. You're going to be more aware of it on yourself than it will be for other people. Like it's easier to show that sort of thing to the one player than it is to the other people around you. You know what I mean? So we can do it with like visual effects on your screen and sound effects and that sort of thing. Like fast breathing is very easy to have on the local player versus the other people around you. So that's
Cool.
not too much of a problem. But yeah, that is that would be a cool idea anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've even seen Twitch streamers now invest in having their heart hooked up to the like stream layout so people know how nervous they are. It's weird, but this BPM tech is getting more common, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are phone apps that exist that can do that if you have something hooked up to you. But yeah, I'll take one from the Twitch chat now. Someone was wondering, when you're playing in private servers, or I guess just in any server at all, um, will you be seeing names of your other like people around you above their head? Do you have to greet them first in order to see their identity? Things like that.
On official servers, you're going to just see their names straight off, depending on the distance and their. Essentially, you have to be looking at them to see their name. If people are off to the side, you're probably not going to. But on unofficial servers, if they opt in for it, they will have an option to make it so that you won't see anybody's name until you've greeted them, and then as soon as your character knows who they are, then you'll from then on see their name. And by
Okay.
greeting, I mean you'll target them or look at them and do like a wave kind of, and it will they'll then know who you are.
Awesome. Sounds good.
There's other
Uh,
things too that can hide identity. Things like wearing a balaclava, for example, will make it harder to see who that is. So even if on an official server or one where you know who the guy is unofficially, it's still you can mask your name like that using a balaclava, and then basically it'll modify the distance at which you can see who that is. So if they're wearing such a thing, you're gonna have to get quite up close to see their name.
awesome. And yeah, that actually reminds me a question I pitched to Motown last week. I'd like to get your opinion on this too. In Altus Life, you could, I believe, put a bag over somebody's head, like if you had them as hostage and they couldn't see anything. I was wondering if you could do the same thing in Identity, or if that's just not really fun for the players and maybe you can't mask
Well,
people.
I'll let John answer that.
It's something I'm considering. There's kind of it's a double-edged sword on that one, right? So um, it is cool and it can be annoying to other people. Um, but it also adds a lot of cool kind of gameplay. Like it's very good for emerging gameplay in that it allows you to play with some situations that you couldn't do
The problem
otherwise.
with it being that, like, for the victim anyway, it is really boring to not be able to see,
Yeah, it is.
have some visual, uh, some something visual to look at while they're in transportation,
Mm-hmm.
being dragged around the map. Some people did suggest something like an in between where, like
It's like
DayZ, where
partial.
you could kind of see through the burlap sack a little bit, and maybe we can explore that as an option.
Yeah, well, something like that. Maybe we could even do like a fade in, fade out kind of thing. But
But
yeah, either way, that's something we have to evaluate more.
yeah,
That's further down the road.
Cool, cool. Nice to get some opinions early on, anyways. Interesting how you had that mechanic in your mod. I wonder what the fans think actually.
it was a source of a lot of frustration for the police when they were being kidnapped.
Police are getting
In our Altus Life. Oh yeah, in our Altus Life
Oh
community in Arma
my.
3,
Wow. All right.
people love to torture them.
Jeez.
They
Next
did.
question. Oh boy. So here's a really good one I got in the Discord earlier, and I'd really like to get your guys' opinion on this. It's to do with the stress system, and it's to do with vehicles. Someone was wondering how the stress system will work specifically when someone wants to make everyone their next target for roadkill. If a car crashes into me when I'm minding my own business, will I ragdoll but take no damage? What kind of scenario are you thinking
Yep.
of, John?
First thing, yes.
Really?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. Yeah, if you your character will move, he'll get hit. You're gonna know you got hit, but you're not gonna die from it because of the fact that you're likely not engaged with this person anyway at all. So,
Now, could I like do some serious damage to his car if I pull a gun or something, or would I just have to run?
well, if he does that, it's gonna raise his stress level, and if you pull out your gun, then your stress level is
Yeah.
gonna go up. In which case, yeah, you could. I mean, essentially, think of it the way is so the stress system is going to adjust accordingly. So he instigated an interaction between you. So now if that's how you want to respond, then you know you can. Uh,
Yeah,
it's not
you'll
going to be
level the
legal.
playing field.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's going
Because
to take you a bit to stand up. Like you just went flying from a car.
yeah.
It's going to take a few seconds to get on your feet and pull out your gun. But sure.
So like if someone's just repeatedly mowing you over as you go into ragdoll, is there anything you can do about that?
Yeah, I mean, you you could do you could shoot him in the face is one option, but it's not going to be. It would be almost impossible for him to continually do that if you're trying to avoid it. I mean, you're not going to be knocked down for so long that he's going to be able to turn around and
Yeah,
come back and attack you
it's
with
not like
burst or something like that.
it's not quite like in Grand Theft Auto where they could just keep their car on top of you and then you just can't do anything. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get out of the way. Like he's not going to be able to keep doing it unless you're being lazy about it or trying to shoot him or something like that.
Okay. And someone has something to contribute from the Twitch chat. Can you run people over in self-defense if they're standing in the middle of the road pointing a gun at you? Will that change anything or no?
If they're pointing a gun at you, they're going to be maxed out stress.
So you could just kill them by running.
Run them down.
Okay.
Man.
Which will probably flag you for murder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So not the best case, but
Yeah.
a fun scenario.
Right. Yeah, you're going to be wanted for it for sure.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Cool. Okay, this next question I had saved. It's going to sound a little silly, but I do think it covers something serious that we should probably address. And someone was wondering, with Identity being most likely a rated M game, I wouldn't see why it's not going to be rated M, or for that age group. What language do you guys find is permissible on your Identity servers? Like, are you okay with people using racial slurs to
No.
like refer to their friends, or is that just big no?
No, then just no racism. There will be a chat filter, I'm sure, so you won't be
Okay.
able to type it.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
I-
Keep it to the private channels if it's going to
Yeah.
happen. And if it was ever done in a way that wasn't meant to be receptive, it will be dealt with. Like racism is not something that we're going
Yeah.
to tolerate on official servers at all.
For sure, for sure. That's good. I mean, you do see it in like the story modes of games like GTA
Yeah.
and Mafia 3
Yeah.
and things like that. But in terms of on your servers, not something we really want to promote or have
Well,
around.
the big
Right.
difference is
Private
that
servers will decide what to deal with on their own.
yeah, I mean the big
Okay.
difference between this and GTA is in GTA is part of a story
Yeah.
about a fictional character, whereas if you say something here is towards a real person,
Mm-hmm.
so it's very very different.
This is true. Cool. Good to touch on that because I was curious. Awesome. We have a few more minutes left. I'll take a few more from the Twitch chat now. Let me scroll up real quick. Once again, thank you to the mods for helping answer questions. It's a big assistance. Like you guys don't even know. Um, Someone's asking, where will you register for the police force? Basically, any police station within the world, there will be some sort of locker room you can go into and sign on to be as a part of the force. It will be proportional to how many players are on the server. We don't want everyone to be a cop at once because it just wouldn't be fun. And if it's your first time, you will have to do a little tutorial in order so we can teach you what to do for that role. Someone else is asking, how many cars do you guys want to have in the final game? Are you looking at tens or are you looking at hundreds? I guess vehicles in general, like boats, bikes.
It comes down to entirely our budget is number one on that, and number
Makes
two is
sense.
time. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep adding vehicles even post release. It's going to be a continual thing. It's one of those things that we always want to be adding. Clothing is another, any kind of character customization. These things are going to be just continually added on a constant basis. So, really just come as much as we can produce. We'll see.
Sounds good.
And then, yeah, we'll just keep on growing it from there. But we
Awesome.
want to, like, initially the first release is just we're gonna try and put it as much variety as we can. So like large differences between pieces, and then once we have all the different categories covered, then we'll start fine tuning by adding more that are similar.
Nice. Yeah, sounds good. Um, yeah, a few more. The next one is, shoot, I swear. Oh, will it be possible to run over like fences or something in the game, like have some sort of partially destructible environment, like you run over a pole?
Yeah, some things will be physics based. A lot of things will not.
Fair.
Like, okay, again, this is where identity's realism comes into place. So things like Grand Theft Auto, you crash into a light pole and that thing will fall over. Or even
In
Arma
in
will do that.
Identity, you crash into a light pole and it's
It's
not
game over.
it's not
Yeah.
coming out of the ground. Like,
No, no. You
uh,
might be going in.
just like in yeah, just like in real life when you crash into a light pole. Like if it's one of the like your car, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there will be like small objects. Yes, you will be able to knock them over, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
There's things like, I mean, like little pylons and that kind of thing. I mean, basically, it looks like a light object that you should be able to knock over. Then chances are you'll be
I
able
mean,
to.
like
It's something.
even the fire hydrants. Like, do you know how deep those actually go into the ground? Like,
No.
they have like this.
And
They have this like this big giant metal shaft that like is like at least 4 or 5 times the length of the part sticking up out of the ground, that stuck under the.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. It's 4:59. We'll try and take one more question. Oh, someone has a good we have a user inquiring about server updates. Eventually we'll have to, apply patches to the game, and when that happens, will the server restarts be significant? Will anything have to be reset in terms of progress?
never.
Like if you dropped an item on the ground and you reset the server, is that going to be gone?
No, I mean that stuff's already functioning in Town Square. It's all persistent. Anything that's dropped on the ground will stay there even if the server restarts. But if they're talking about like wiping data after a significant update, we'll never do that either.
Cool. Oh, tell him it's floppy. They know me.
Oh yeah, we know
Yeah,
floppy pancakes.
for sure.
Oh, cool. Um,
Hmm.
the 5 o'clock. If there's any questions you guys wanted to get asked but we couldn't get around to, definitely message Beach Ball on the Identity Discord. I'll throw in the link again real quick. I'm always around to help talk and convey things to the devs where needed. And yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed your time with Mirsoft today. This hair is really coming along. It's looking impressive already. Once again, thank you to the devs for showing up to help answer questions. We all have extremely busy schedules right now, and it's amazing that they can even find time to come in. It's really helps boost the engagement we have with the community. It's always nice to hear what's going on within the office, and yeah. Also, thank you to the moderators for helping answer questions. Big assistance. You guys have no idea. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I hope you all have a great and safe rest of your Tuesday or Wednesday if the time zone is pretty significant. I know if where Miroslav is, it's now midnight, I do believe, so it's tomorrow for him. Uh, big thanks for him staying up this late to model some hair.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's almost finished. Well, I shouldn't say it's almost finished because there's still another half of this entirely that he has to do with the planes that.
Yeah, there's like 4/3 of this left, actually.
Yes, yeah,
It's a start.
Yeah.
yeah.
All
It
right.
is looking good though. And just for anyone that doesn't know, Miro, by the way, has done all of the character art and identity. Every haircut, every blemish on the skin, every character
Everything to
model.
do with our character, like except
That's
for
him.
the clothing, Uma does a ton of, but Miroslav has done several of the clothing pieces as well, including that awesome jacket for like the goth jacket that everybody says that like we took the idea from PUBG, but wasn't even a thought. But
Okay.
But yeah, Miro, you'll be happy to see. I just today too redid your eye shader for the eyeballs.
Oh,
It
that's
looks
awesome. That's awesome.
it looks really lifelike now. I'm really excited about that. So
Cool,
yeah,
cool. Can't wait to see it.
poor
That's
Miro,
excellent.
he had to do a bunch of different eyeball textures and different eyebrows and all this other tedious work. But it's going to
Ooh.
make character customization nice. So you can thank him for that one.
Nice.
Woo. Awesome.
All right, I
Well,
better head out before the wife
yeah.
gets mad at me.
That's a wrap, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Thursday. We do have
Thank
Jade
you.
scheduled for then. Adios, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.